This sports team overpaid a mid-level quarterback, traded multiple first-round picks for a defensive end that isn't accomplishing a thing, has the most LGBTQ players, and the fans are by far the most delusional.
Who are the Green Bay Packers?
Correct. That's right. You're up to 300, Emma. Yeah. Go Bears!
Let's go! Here we go. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go! Let's go!
There is always something special about a Bears game.
Yeah! Let's go! Woo! Let's go! Let's go out here. Let's be one the whole day. Let's play ball for 60 minutes and communicate until the game. Here we go. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Special about a Bears game.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Bearski Film. Tonight's a late night one. I am joined by Rev Trev NFL on Twitter and on YouTube. A Packers fan on Bearski Film, but you guys know us. We welcome all NFL opinions, and as long as we can talk football, man, we're willing to talk football. But, hey, I just want to point out in that intro video, I did 3 things. I established my fandom, showing you I was at the stadium last game. I insulted you, and I made you watch like 2 minutes worth of Bears highlights. Trev, how you doing tonight, man? Thanks for joining.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. And so just to let everybody know, we don't know each other. This is our first time ever doing anything together. We've had very limited conversation on Twitter. But like I said, man, we welcome all football opinions. And with where the Bears are currently at, and with this whole NFC North, that's kind of what I titled the show. Let's talk NFC North, right? Because I find it so interesting with what's going on in this division, man. I don't know about you, but I want to take it back to like the beginning of the year, right? Beginning of the year, end of last year to beginning of the year. First off, I want to get your opinion on this, man, with the Vikings, because I knew as a Bears fan that, like, hey, our team can get better, but if we want success, like to the point where we're having now, we kind of need these other teams around us to fail, because this was such a historically good division last year, right? Where I was like, man, the Bears might wind up with 8-9 wins and still be 4th in the division if it continues on this path, right? So we not only need to get better, but the other teams need to get worse. And the first move when the Vikings let go of Sam Darnold, I was like, man, I understand the potential of a quarterback and whatever, but I also understand the roller coaster you go through when you deal with a rookie quarterback. You go through the slumps. I was like, this team's in win now mode. It's in compete mode. It should have been doing what you guys were doing. You know what I mean? But instead, they decided to shake it up, get J.J. McCarthy, and it's looking rough, man. What do you think of how the Vikings handled all that with where they're at currently?
Yeah, so I was at the U.S. Bank Stadium 2 weeks ago, and I watched them play the Ravens. So I saw J.J. McCarthy right in front of my eyes, and he reminds me of Caleb Williams when he started. Inaccurate, looked terrible, didn't look like he had the juice. And I look at him and I said, but there's some things just like Caleb had, was that Caleb had some couple things that I'm like, ooh, if he develops that, he'll be good. He'll be good. And I keep saying that in JJ McCarthy, and like I have to remind myself he's played like 5 games. His first year, he hurt himself. He was sitting behind, so he was quote unquote sitting behind Sam Darnold. He wasn't. He was rehabbing. So they should have kept Sam around for at least another year. But they were just too excited. And I think what they got there was they thought that they had the Patrick Mahomes situation where they had Alex Smith and they let him go after a year and let Mahomes cook, and Mahomes is Mahomes, right? But there's nothing about McCarthy's college career where it told you that he could have Mahomes-like career. So everything hinged on McCarthy being good and being healthy, and he hasn't been either one of those, and that's why they're failing. Their defense is fine. Their weapons are great, and as you know, your fan base knows, quarterback matters, and then when you don't have one, it is hard to win games. And so that's my quick take on what's happening in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's interesting because the only thing that's similar is really just the situations, right? Like what? You're the 4th quarterback taken at pick 10. You sit out your first year. However, he was hurt. Patrick Mahomes was just sat, right? You have a solid head coach that you can rely on. But I always remind people this, man. Like at the end of the day, it's the players. Like it's the players. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes because he's Patrick Mahomes. And like, so people bring out these hypotheticals. Oh, well, if he was on a different team, would he have won? Yeah, probably at least one. Maybe not to the extent he's won, paired up with a great team that stayed healthy, with a great coach and everything like that. Like that's the ultimate scenario. But I mean, I've watched the 7th round pick in Tom Brady become a quarterback by just being the most coachable, being the most consistent, and growing, right? So like, sure, it's his 5th or 6th game now, about to be his 7th for JJ McCarthy. He hasn't looked great though. There's been moments, like even against the Bears, like he came through in the clutch, which matters. However, there's other guys like Joe Burrow that were hurt his first year and made the Super Bowl the second year, right? So it's kind of like, what are the expectations? And I think that's all determined by the skill level of the team. I think the Vikings are ready to win now. I think they would have been way better off just keeping that consistent and not playing around, but
well, Viking fans would agree with you.
Right. But I
mean, like hindsight 2020, it's easy to go and look and say that. But they're like, do we pay this guy this amount of money? They didn't want to pay Kirk Cousins, which is fine. Hindsight 2020, that worked. But yeah, hindsight 2020, they should have kept Sam Darnold, but they don't have that luxury anymore.
100%. And like Rev, I don't know about you, but like to me, finances dictate so much. And it's like that's the whole rookie quarterback game, that you get to a point where you have to pay them. And when you pay them, they leverage the situation and want to get paid like they're Peyton Manning. And usually they do, and usually they're not Peyton Manning, right? Like you guys experienced an interesting situation there. I mean, the whole Aaron Rodgers transition, everybody knows about that. But to repeat it with Jordan Love, to have another quarterback drafted in the 1st round sit on the bench, like no other team does that because they'd rather rush through these guys and figure out if they can play or if they can not play, right? Which is kind of where I stand with JJ McCarthy. Like so far, doesn't look like he can hang. Can he develop? Sure, maybe. But like the best of the best, man, they go in there and they get it done, right? So Russell Wilson is a 3rd round draft pick, went on to the Seahawks, and he outbeat Matt Flynn, who threw 6 touchdowns for you guys in a game and got a $40 million contract from them for it. They ate it, dude. They just said, no, this kid's better as a 3rd round draft pick rookie. So like some guys can just come in here and play, right? But you want the Patrick Mahomes, right? Ultimately, it's the quarterback that winds up holding you back in a lot of the playoff situations. And you find yourself in an interesting spot with Jordan Love where it's like, okay, you held on to this guy. You had 1 year to decide whether he was worth it. And so I thought the contract you guys signed him to was actually very favorable because it was only like 3 years of guaranteed money, I believe. And so, it's not like you're digging yourself into a hole, which is usually the fear in that situation. But with all that being said, we get asked the question like, oh, who's better, Jordan Love or Caleb Williams or this and that? Well, it's like, I don't like to look at it that way. I like to look at it in the terms of value. Or what type of play are you getting for what you're spending on it? You guys are spending a lot on Jordan Love, man. He's fallen short for you guys. I think he's going to be the reason why you don't ultimately achieve what you want to achieve. I don't know. What do you think about Jordan Love? What do you think?
I think you can say that, but you don't know.
No, right.
Just because, like, how do you say that from here? Because he's had a couple, like, because he's not the fantasy football legend that everyone's wanting him to be. No.
Oh, no, dude. Like, I gave up on fantasy football. I haven't even done it in the last.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that's what everyone compares him, and so we have more of a complete team. We don't need him to gunsling like that. So he's not getting 300 yards, 400 yards a game. Doesn't need to win games. Now, has he struggled this year? Yes. You've also saw him handing the ball off with a different hand. There's something wrong there. And, but is he the Tom Brady type? No. Is he Aaron Rodgers? No. He looks similar to Aaron on some plays. Some of their throwing styles look the same, but he's not. That's the thing that everyone tries to do, is to compare Rodgers with Love, and they're just two different quarterbacks. In fact, I told everyone, and when Love was coming in, that we need to just buckle up and just realize that Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback to not turn the ball over. When he turned the ball over, you're like, what's going on? This is weird. There would be games where he would turn it over 3 times. Like, well, that's his quota for half of the year. Dude, he was always under 10. So I knew that Jordan wasn't going to be as accurate as Rodgers. I was not expecting that. So I don't have the same expectations, and everyone seems to like that. That's where he's always compared to Favre and to Rodgers, and then people want to do Caleb or Love, and it's just like they're different quarterbacks.
They are different quarterbacks, but like at the end of the day, you pay them the same dollar bills, don't you? Like, yeah. So that's why I look at it in terms of value. Like, per what you're paying him, is he worth it, dude?
It's not about the money though, right?
But it is, because
and I'll tell you why. Okay? So he came up. His contract came up at the wrong time. He's like, listen, I'm your guy. And so he had all the leverage. And it's like, if you want to keep this guy, there are other teams that are going to fall in the same place. And yes, I've done videos on this. We paid Jordan Love way too much money. 100%. No doubt about it. I'm not arguing that. It's just that when your contract comes up and you're the only guy, let's say, what's Caleb going to make? I'm telling you, he's not going to make less than Jordan Love.
Dude, I know. And that's part of the back and forth we have with our listeners in our chat. It's like, okay, listen, like, by the end of Caleb's next year, you have to make a choice on the 5th-year option, right? You want him to be playing at a point where that's insulting, right? Like, ideally, you want to sign the guy after the 3rd year. That's what happened with Josh Allen. That's what happened with Patrick Mahomes. That's what happened with Lamar Jackson. It also happened with Trevor Lawrence. It also happened with Kyler Murray. It also so even then, half the time it fails, right? But like, for the league's top quarterbacks, that seems to be the path they follow. Dude, I don't think you guys are in a bad spot. Don't get me wrong. Like, so like, yes, you might be overpaying Jordan Love, but like, who isn't overpaying a quarterback that's on a contract? And I think you point out a great point. It's like, when you get to contract time, my issue is, it was the same thing with Lamar. Like, you're going to hold your team hostage. In my opinion, with Lamar Jackson, every team passed on him in the draft, including the Ravens. Then they traded back up into the first round and said, okay, we'll take on this project. And they took it on, and they did a great, amazing job developing him, making things easy, turning him into the player he is. And it came contract time, and he held him hostage. So I want top money and this and that. Whereas a guy like Brady, throughout all the years on the Patriots, and I've done these numbers, man. I've come up with these slides and everything because I was interested in what percentage of the cap is being eaten up by your quarterback. And you go back to like 2010, and those numbers are like 11, 12, 13%. Nowadays, they're like 20, 22%. Like, it doesn't matter if the cap's rising. A bigger chunk of it is going to the quarterback, right? And so guys don't belong in that position yet still wind up getting paid that money all the time. It happens all the time. And I think it's the way the NFL is structured for a reason. But with Caleb, he's got to get a lot better because he's going to do that. There's no reason not to take money. With Brady, the entire tenure on his resume with the Patriots, he was never a top 10 paid quarterback. Not until he went to Tampa. But then you'll have arguments. Oh, well, the Patriots won by a field goal. And yeah, they can afford a field goal kicker. They can afford a good defense. Your quarterback's not eating up the salary, and he's still playing good enough. And then once he retires, shit, man, he'll go do a roast for fucking $30 million for 3 hours, right? Like, come on now. And so there's a long-term picture there. Yeah, dude, it's a fear. It's a fear because it's like this Bears team is winning right now, right? But my history's been filled with inflated success, where it's like we win for 1 year and then it's playoff drought. That's no good. If you want to make the playoff consistently, it's usually through the arm of a quarterback. Or like, dude, I was really impressed with Jordan Love throwing for not having a 1,000-yard receiver and still making a playoffs as a team, right? So like, it's like you got to be a solid unit, or you got to have a really damn good quarterback. But that's about the two ways it goes. Or your defense has to spike, right? But I want that repeated success. I don't want that inflated success. And so watching the way we're winning these games, it's like, oh, dude, we're 2 field goals and a blocked field goal away from having a 3-game swing. We could easily be 5-6, right? Like, because those end of moment games, and like we've fallen short on a lot of those, but we are where we're at. However, the quarterback play for us this last game was good from Caleb, and I was at the game. I was at the Steelers game, but before that, man, like that 0 touchdown, 0 interception, 200-yard game from first overall pick, it's not cutting it. And I keep going back to, well, we're gonna have to pay this kid. Like, I want him to be excellent and not good. And I don't know, man. I was looking at your team at the beginning of the year. I understood the Micah Parsons move. In fact, that got brought up on our channel all the time. Should the Bears make this move? Shit, dude, we talked about it like a year and a half ago. Like, down the line, you know what I mean? This is what's coming. But we're not there yet because we needed Caleb to prove himself. There's other things we needed before we pushed the chips all in. You guys, on the other hand, you guys are looking up at the Vikings. You're looking up at the Lions going, we need to get over the edge. We need something. And so the Micah Parsons move, in my opinion, was the type of move you need to make when you're in that position. Since then, man, I don't know. The Packers haven't really impressed me much. I know they're still looked at as a contender, as a serious team. But from my opinion, these 2 games the Bears have against the Packers have become winnable for us. I don't know. What do you think? Because I know you guys expect us to beat us every time, like you have for the last however many fucking years, twice a year, every year. But like, I think that's finally starting to turn. I mean, we won against you last year. We almost won the first one. We fucked that up. We fucked the kick up, right? So like, we lost it. We got the second one, and like now I'm looking at your team like, dude, I think you guys are downplaying what my expectations were for the Green Bay Packers. What are your expectations? Where do you think your team's going to wind up?
Well, I mean, I just remember, like, we're a playoff team. That's just what we are. That's what we've been the last 2 years. Jordan Love's made the playoffs 2 years in a row. I'm expecting year 3 he makes playoffs. But last year we were not good against the Eagles. 22-10, I think was the final. So got really exposed. I made a video August 21st about the Bears. And I basically is like, are the Bears finally good? And just looking at the roster, looking how it's been constructed, I'm saying there's a chance that the Bears have put it together, but I've been fooled a few times with this Bears team. And I thought there was a couple of those seasons when you had Justin Fields where I thought you were going to be better. So, and you had 7 wins with Justin Fields 1 year, the last year there. So you were close, but you just lose those close games. So when it comes to the Bears, I've been asking the question, are they going to be finally good? And I'm happy in a way that they're better, much better, because it makes it more interesting. 11 games in a row. It's like, okay, this isn't, I mean, it's just like we're beating up on the little kid here. So I'm glad to see that now these games are going to matter again. You know, people are going to tune in. That's why our game got flexed, right? Because you guys have 8 wins now, and you know you're coming in to Lambeau, and it's going to be great. I mean, it's great, but the problem is it's 2 games in 3 weeks. That's stupid how they did that with the scheduling.
I really like how they have us set up against the Lions. First game, last game. Like, that's cool. You know what I mean? Or not first game. We
that's good.
Week two we faced them. Like, sure, we got our ass handed there. Prove it at the end of the year. It actually means something. Yeah, 2 in 3 weeks is kind of
it's stupid. So
can you stay healthy?
Packers,
like, can you stay healthy?
In regards to my Packers and what the expectation is we always expect to win. So, but whether we do or not is a different story. And we've struggled against teams that we shouldn't. And whenever we kind of let teams hang around, we get in trouble. And what I like about the Bears situation is you have found ways to win all year. And I think that's where you've really improved. And it's interesting to watch from the outside looking in. I think if I was a Bears fan, I'd be like, this is it. This is the team. This is the whole change of the future. Like, I'm not saying you're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Like, I mean, some Bears fans might be feeling that way right now, but I don't think most of the fan base, like, we got this. Like, I think when you compare yourselves with some of the other teams, you'll find out in the next few weeks where you stand. But the Bears look so much better. And that ability to find ways to win those close games is the difference between a playoff team and a non-playoff team. And that's where you're at. And so I just think I look forward to, like, tomorrow, everyone thinks the Packers going to lose to the Lions. Everyone thinks that. But come next week, it's like, does the script flip? And does everyone think the Packers are going to beat the Bears? I just don't think it's fair for either one. I think both of those games could go either way.
I think so too. And it's part of what I was saying that we needed to happen that has kind of happened. These teams have come back down to earth, right? Like the Lions lost the game recently where they didn't score many points. Like, you guys lost to what I believe it was the Eagles or Carolina, where it was 7-10. Like, you know, there's been some signs of like regression a little bit, which is good for us as Bears fans, right? Because we're on the up right now. And so, yeah, it's nice to see. And you know what, Rev? I got to be honest with you. In the past, in all those years I looked at, and by the way, with the mic issues, somebody pointed out I had mic issues. For some reason, man, my fucking my Windows driver, like, goes out and it starts buzzing. I don't hear it till you start talking. I just need to unplug and plug it back in. So if it happens, just let me know. I'm having fucking technical issues. But in the past, when the Bears have been in this situation, I was so excited in the moment. I was so excited in 2018 when we almost ripped Rodgers' leg off, and then he still came back and fucking beat us. Like,
that was crazy.
By the way, I have shorts called Bears Therapy shorts, and it's just filled with fucking Packer moments. I could share a couple with you in case they make you happy, but they fucking made me miserable. Like, I've experienced it. I've been to games where my heart's been ripped out. You know what I mean? And usually it's been by Rodgers. I will still acknowledge that until Patrick Mahomes, he was probably the best quarterback I've ever seen play in the NFL, though. Regardless of success, right? Like, Brady's the most successful, but like, sure, God damn it, Rodgers was so damn good. And so, you know, I think nowadays you have to find a good line between that, because consistency matters a lot. But you know, with this Packers team and this whole division and where the Bears are at, I don't know if this year's the year. Like, I'm not actually so juiced up about this year as I was in 2018, as I was in 2010, as I was in 2000. Like, I'm actually more excited about the next 2 years for the Bears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it finally feels like they got the real coach, right? Which I hated Mike McCarthy, by the way. But when you guys got Matt LaFleur, pretty quickly I recognized, like, oh, they got a damn good head coach. We're going to have to deal with this guy. Kevin O'Connell, real quickly, you realize, damn, this guy's a good head coach. You know, I won't talk about the Lions, but Dan Campbell's a different story in my opinion. But he's a damn good head coach. He's just interesting in his aggressive stubborn approach, but whatever. But I think the Bears got one too now. So, looking at this division, it's such a toss-up, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think coaching matters. And I know a lot of people say, no, whatever. It's Captain Obvious comment, right? That coaching matters. But when you looked at this division, it was 3 teams had coaches and 1 team didn't. And when you guys didn't fire Eberflus, I was like, you should fire him. Now, Ben Johnson wasn't available at that time. So it's good that you didn't, probably in hindsight 2020, but you could have found someone. Maybe. Ben Johnson is a good coach. And but speaking of coaching, so everyone was all down on the Lions. And the fact is, everyone's like, oh, no, new OC, new DC, this team's not. I'm like, listen, they had 15 wins. They had the exact same players and they're healthy and they have the same head coach. I'm telling you right now, they're still going to be good. And I believe in the Lions more than Lions fans believe in the Lions. It's crazy. So when Ben Johnson went over, I'm like, ooh, this is interesting. I'm nervous. This is the first coach in a long time that the Bears had. Like, I'm nervous about this guy. He's no slouch. And you guys are seeing how smart Ben Johnson is and what a real coach looks like. And that's what's making this division so much more fun. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I was just in 2018, Matt Nagy came here. It's like, great, dude. He won Coach of the Year. Ryan Pace won GM of the Year. It matters about, you need about 3 years to really get a picture of what a guy is, right? Because that year, like I said, was filled with inflated success, not real success. And, dude, I was at the game where Trubisky threw 6 touchdowns. Later that year, I was saying, like, Trubisky's not the guy. I try and not let those moments fool me so much.
Right.
When I see club dub after a fucking game, when I see him in the third quarter more worried about installing a disco ball in the goddamn locker room, that's just pathetic when you win 3 games of the year, right? Like, no, dude, what I saw with Ben Johnson was you're up 20 points in a preseason game and he is locked in focused. Yes, that's what you want. Like, it's different, right? Like, it's different. And that's why this feels more like real success rather than inflated success for us. But it still is inflated in a way where, like, dude, we were not supposed to have this good of a defense. And it's not that good. We have like a 25th ranked defense, but number 1 in turnovers, which is what matters most. Like, that could cover up a lot. Mm-hmm. We were not supposed to have a good running game. Shit, we waited till the 7th round to draft our running back 2. Like, we ignored and band-aided that position, and it's excelled. What we were supposed to have is a number 1 overall pick quarterback playing really well with a number 10 pick wide receiver, now a number 10 pick tight end. Like, this was supposed to be a passing thing, and that hasn't fully developed yet. We've managed to lean on the defense and lean on the running game, which have been playing exceptionally well. And you're seeing little spurts from Caleb. I'm waiting for the consistency to develop more and more. But, man, I'm telling you, if it does, that's when this Bears team actually becomes really scary.
True.
Earlier, you told me, how can you say that about Jordan Love, this and that? And I told you, an opinion's opinion. I say the same thing about Jared Goff, though. Like, I don't think – I like the Lions. This is their division right now. I don't believe in them winning a Super Bowl because of Jared Goff. Because coaching matters. I think coaching matters a lot when the team sucks. I don't think good coaches let their team suck. You know what I mean? We had Matt Eberflus here, 3 wins his first year. Everybody made excuses. Rebuilding. No. If you're a good coach, doesn't matter. You don't wind up with 3 wins. I think the middle part's a lot on the players, dude. And then I think at the end, getting over the hump, the coaching kind of falls back in impacts it more. Now, I'll give Sean McVay as an example. Like, dude, they made the Super Bowl with Jared Goff. But because of Sean McVay trading him away, getting Matt Stafford, like, that's the decision that helped actually win the Super Bowl, right? And I always say it, like, dude, the Lions are believing what the Rams didn't believe. The Lions think they can do it with Jared Goff because they haven't experienced that success. And so, like, I don't know, man. I just think that when the moments come to shine, that guy doesn't come through for you. And to me, that's not good enough, just like it wasn't good enough for the Rams. And so that's kind of like when I look at Jordan Love too, like it's very mid. I haven't seen him do anything. Can you win that way? Sure, you can. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about like likelihood. You're most likely to win through the arm of a good quarterback, right? And unfortunately, this league has just been completely eaten up by Patrick Mahomes, Matt Stafford, Jalen Hurts. Like if you try and name the quarterbacks that are starting that have a ring, it's not many of them. It's fucking hard. It's really hard. Like guys that should have a ring don't. Like Lamar should have one. Josh Allen should have one. They don't. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, no, exactly. But on the NFC side of things, man, we're a little bit more scrappy. We had Jalen Hurts win last year, and he only had 2,800 yards, right? So like, you can do it in many different ways, sure. And yeah, I don't know. This NFC North is definitely an interesting division. I kind of like that it fell back down to earth, but it's still so fucking competitive. I'm looking forward to playing against you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It is.
But back to the Jared Goff thing. This is where I believe in the Lions more than the Lions do. They should have made the Super Bowl last year. As a franchise, they've never won the Super Bowl. Their injuries caught up to them. They were right there with the Eagles last year. They were better than the Eagles, and they should have beaten the Eagles, but they were so injured when they met in that game. There's no way they were going to win that. But then the Commanders were the Commanders went on a great run, right? Commanders went on a great run. So I still think that last year was the year of the Lions making the Super Bowl, and they didn't. They failed. But I think they would have smoked the Chiefs just like the Eagles did. But it's just hindsight 2020. Maybe it's possible. I think that Goff has some moments. That's the thing about our whole division. There's no quarterback that sits there and goes, he consistently plays at this level all the time. There's ups and downs with the quarterbacks in our division, but the teams in our division are very good. And that's why you're seeing other teams come in, other divisions come in, and we just smack them. Because it's like, no, you're coming into Chicago now that's better. You're coming into Green Bay that has a very good defense and a very good overall team. Detroit's no slouch. They won 15 games last year. There's no doubt in my mind they win 10 again this year, right? Like, I think the Bears, the Packers, and the Detroit Lions all win 10 games plus this year. That's my prediction. So I think we're all making the playoffs. That's what
it could very well happen because, like I said, this division is coming off of a historic high number of wins, and we got 5 of those. So, like I said, my whole thing about somebody failing here, for us to take that spot, like, it's the Vikings.
Unfortunately, take the spot though, Paul. Like, you are first place. Like, it's not like you're third and barely third. You're literally first place. Now, I know it's all one game apart at this stage. I get
1 and 2 in the division.
But what I'm saying is that you're there. You're there. You took command and you took the opportunity. And so that's why Bears fans should be excited. I still think there's a lot of delusion, but we're going to find out because maybe I'm wrong about the Bears. Maybe they're better than I think.
Well, I think, earlier you were saying, are the Bears a good team? You did a short called that. By the way, all of your content, youtube.com/@RevTrevNFL or RevTrevNFL on Twitter. Check it out, guys. Ton of content. I know you've been doing it for a while too, so appreciate the grind. That's what we all have in common. But, part of this whole thing is like, we're really going to find out who the Bears are on Friday. Now, on a short week, like when the odds are against you, short week, really damn good team that's got something to play for, like go out there and beat them. Go out there and take care of business. I don't even care how you do it. Win by fucking a point. Just come out away with the W, and I think that means everything. And then you'll hear the narratives change. What I'm hoping for you guys analyze is that you guys just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Like, I just want you guys, fuck it, so that's what's best for us. But
like,
no, but
you guys play Friday, right? You go play.
We play Friday.
And is it Philly?
It is Philly, 2 p.m.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Hey, that's going to be a real interesting one because because everyone was saying, oh, the Packers don't look good. It was a 10-7 loss. We had 2 chances to win at the end. We had multiple chances, but the Eagles are good. This just in, the Eagles are still good. And everyone's like, well, they're not as good as last year. Okay, I don't care. They're still good. And then Detroit goes in there, and they're all like, we got this. There's no problem. They look just the same. In fact, the Eagles scored more points against Detroit than they did against us, and they only scored 2 more points than us. We had 7 points, they had 9. So I'm so interested about this Bears-Eagles game because I want to see what you guys do against them. If you have 2 extra film sessions on them, and it's so neat to see. Like, it's must-see TV. When's the last time I've said that about a Bears game? So I'm excited about that. I'm actually working during that game, so I'm going to record it and watch it later. But man alive, like as a fan base, like this is a litmus test on Friday, and it's kind of wild to see them to do that. I'm excited to watch that game.
Yeah, no, it's because it's very meaningful, and so like we said it last week, the Steelers game might be the last game we could sneak away with playing, mediocre football, but still winding up with a win. However, like the offense was clicking a little bit. 3 touchdowns for Caleb, 250. Like that's, I think as a fan base, or me personally, I'll just say me personally, I want to see the kid at 250, 2 touchdowns, and I want to be like pretty confident to expect that consistently, right? Right now, I expect like 201 touchdown, which just isn't enough. But I mean, it is if your defense is coming through, if your running game's coming through, if your coach is putting you in good position, if you're not missing kicks and everything's going right, then sure, that's enough to win in this league. But it isn't ideal. What we have now is the real test, and it starts with the Eagles.
Yep.
And then continues through the end of the season, right? Which is why I was excited to talk to you, which is why I'm excited to talk to Brian on Monday too, who's a Packers fan, because yeah, these games are meaningful, man, and they mean a ton as far as dictating it. Like I said, are these inflated victories or are these real victories? I'm still not sure how to feel about this Bears team. I know Ben Johnson's been good enough to not let him suck, but I also know you're not the number 1 turnover defense year after year after year. Like this ends this year, and moving forward, if it's not carried by our quarterback, it dies quickly. I've seen that over and over. But hey, man, I've seen the Eagles win a Super Bowl with we had him as a quarterback here. Nick Foles being a Super Bowl MVP. 3 years later, he's 3rd string on the Bears. 3 years later, Doug Peterson's fired. That's what's impressive about the Eagles is Howie Roseman, their GM. He does not get fooled. Just because Doug Peterson won him one doesn't mean you're just here forever. No, 3 years later, you're just not a good coach. Whereas he kept Andy Reid for how long? And what I said, like, it comes down to the players is you could have good coaches. Andy Reid, it took him 19 years to win a goddamn Super Bowl, and it wasn't until he got Patrick Mahomes. It wasn't with Alex Smith or Donovan McNabb, or like it wasn't until he got Patrick Mahomes. Ultimately, if the quarterback position flourishes, dude, you should have at least one. And I always say it, like Rodgers still got one, despite McCarthy, despite Joe Philbin being the offensive coordinator, despite being the most sacked quarterback that year, and despite never giving him any pieces on offense. He was still able to do it because he's a great player, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, I think you at least expect one. But, man, I don't know. I still don't know where the long-term outlook for the Bears is. In the short term, oh, that's fantastic. I love being 8-3. I can't even remember the last time, but yeah, the Eagles, you guys, like these games are going to dictate our seriousness a lot, and you're going to hear it in the national media too, especially if we win against the Eagles.
Totally,
especially. Yeah. You guys, on the other hand, always seem to be like never too flashy, but you never suck. And so it's like at any point, if you just go on a streak, you could do it. And so that's why I said, like, it's interesting because I think this is the Lions division to take. I still think you guys wind up number 2.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, possible. I mean, I still do, just because the roster, the experience, everything like that. What do you think about this next upcoming matchup against the Lions for you guys? And
Yeah, I like it a lot. I'm looking forward to it because, again, everyone's predicting the Lions to win, just like they did week 1. And of course they have talent, man. Like, of course they have talent. Gibbs is a problem. We know that, but Aiden Hutchinson is usually a problem. We shut him completely down in game 1. Their O-line is not great like it was last year. And I think they just brought, what's his name, back, the lineman back. He's coming out of retirement. And so,
No.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's bad news for the division, right? So what's hilarious is everyone's going to pick the Packers to lose. And if we win that game, guy, that means we swept them. So all the pressure's on Detroit. It's in Detroit, Thanksgiving, and that's 2 years ago. Jordan Love cooked and beat Detroit in Detroit, and nobody saw that coming. And I would say our defense is much better than it was 2 years ago when we won that game. And so I don't know who's going to win tomorrow. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, yeah, Packers got this is easy. I think it's one of those games where it's going to be a bloodbath. And I'm just looking forward to watching it. I cannot wait to watch the game. It's going to be fantastic to see these two teams go, because it's like, well, Detroit is right now 3rd in the division. They beat us. They become 2nd, possibly 1st, depending on if you guys win. Like that. That's how close it is. So both teams have to win, but it's not must win. It's like this just goes way better for your playoff hopes, for the division, trying to win the division. So I'm excited. I think what is the big key, honestly, is if we can just slow down the run, we can do everything else, because we're going to get to the quarterback. Goff is not fast. Caleb Williams is a much better rusher, like a scrambler, than, of course, like that's Captain Obvious right there. But I think
Goff maybe one of the few pure pocket passers.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. So if we can just slow down the run, we can win the game. Now, our offense has to have better play calling and has to execute. We can't have drop passes all over the place, or else we can lose that game, no problem as well. I'm not anticipating a blowout either side. That's what I'm not anticipating.
What's your prediction?
Oh, what did I say? I just did a video on it. I can't remember.
Okay, how about this? Without numbers, who wins? Packers? You think Packers win or Lions win?
You know what?
Or everybody can tune into your channel and go check out your videos.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I do tons of content on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and X. And I do apologize for not having that off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember. I make so much content every day. It's ridiculous.
Dude,
let me just see what I have here, because I don't want to say it wrong. But anyways, I think it could go either way. I'm hoping my Packers win. I'm hoping it's real close. But I wouldn't be. I'm just at the stage where I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose that game. I'm a realist. I do passionate, realistic, and honest content. And so those three things are really important. So my passion cannot supersede my realism. I predict the Packers are going to lose a lot. I'm on the NFC North podcast every Wednesday with Andy from NFL Outdated, does a great job. And they all pick their own team every single week. It doesn't matter who they're playing. And I'm realistic, and I say, no, Detroit's going to win this week. No, and people are like, what? How can you do that as a Packers fan? I'm like, I'm just a realist. So it's going to be interesting to say the least. So
yeah, I mean, we're called haters often on our channel. But It's just funny because it's like we were called the second we had the number 1 pick locked up that second year in a row. The second it happened, I was like, okay, Justin Fields is gone. You guys are haters. And I'm just like, no, dude, the kid has not, you got to pay him soon. You got to fucking pay him soon. He has not played to a level where he is worth the potential of what a number 1 overall picks. brings. And like, I don't care if the number 1 overall pick's generational or not, like that potential already supersedes what Justin Fields' potential is. And like, you just have to look at it as a realistic thing, because we were called Justin Fields haters, Caleb Williams dick suckers. Now we're called Caleb Williams haters. And it's like, no, dude, we just have an expectation for quarterback play, and it's got nothing to do with Bears' historic records. Don't care about a 4,000-yard passer. See guys do it. Multiple guys do it in this league every single fucking year. Like, it's not anything special, right? Like, I've never seen a Super Bowl. I was born in '88. Give me one of those. Like, that's what I want. And so that's where my opinion's always dictated towards. And it's like, yeah, dude, I know you can win being lucky. I've seen teams do that. You know what I mean? I know you can win with balance, this and that, but like more often than not, dude, just the team with the best quarterback. I mean, dude, it's hard to beat that. It really is. And so
who's the best quarterback in the NFC, right? And everyone's going to say, oh, right. And you can have arguments for every single one of them. But right now, if I, games on the line, all that kind of stuff, you got to be going Goff. You got to be going Goff because he's been there before. And then it was like, no. Well, then who else? Caleb? Well, he's never been there, right? Is it
Rams? The Rams.
No. I'm talking about
the North. The North.
So I'm just talking about like there's an argument to be made that every single Caleb. Some people are like, Caleb is the best quarterback. Okay, or someone would say Jordan's the best quarterback in the NFC North. Okay. I can see an argument for that, right? So
I think the more accurate way to say it is Caleb has probably the biggest potential out of all the quarterbacks in the NFC North.
He should.
Yeah,
he's the number 1 pick. Like the idea that like, oh, you know what's so awesome is he's gonna throw 4,000 yards and he's gonna be the first Bears guy in history. And I'm like, yes, you should. You should have that expectation every single year that Caleb Williams will throw 4,000. Because if he doesn't, he's a bust. He's a bust. And it's first pick overall. You pick Caleb. He better pan out, right? Now you've had the ones where you jumped ahead and got Trubisky and did the whole thing and made the mistake and blah blah blah, right? But like you should have the expectation that Caleb should be the best quarterback in our division, but Goff was drafted number 2, right? So he's got to have high expectations. Yeah. Jordan Love was the end of the first round. This is like it's not the same. They're saying, right? It's like who went at the end of the first round this year, and it's like, okay, like Bo Nix and all those guys, JJ McCarthy with you guys, all those quarterbacks all went super high. Jordan Love didn't go super high. He almost went in the second round. And so I'm loving the projection we're getting from him from his thing. And you can say, oh yeah, Brady, then, blah, 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 Russell Wilson. Those are just freaks. They don't happen. It's rare when those guys happen. They hit. I had season tickets to the Seahawks. Okay. I got rid of my season tickets when Russell Wilson was there because it was Travis. No, it was Jackson. What was the Jackson? No, whoever that was. Whoever the quarterback was that play. We're like, we're going to be 4-12. We're not going to be able to give any of those tickets away. And we got rid of our Seahawks tickets. Nobody knew that Russell Wilson was going to be Russell Wilson. And then nobody thought Russell Wilson was going to fall off a cliff. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying is Caleb should play well. That should be the expectation. And if he doesn't, boy, oh boy, that'll be another disappointment.
Well, so that's the interesting thing, though. Like, when you dive into it a little bit deeper, Russell Wilson didn't fall off a cliff. Russell Wilson got paid. Once you paid Russell Wilson and the finances dictated that this has to go through the quarterback and you can't afford the defense, you can't afford the running game, all of a sudden, Russell Wilson falls off a cliff. Right. So like when I look at Jordan Love, like you mentioned Bo Nix and this, like those guys are all on rookie contracts. Right. So Jordan Love is getting paid. I'm going to compare him to other quarterbacks that are getting paid. And once you get that first contract, it doesn't matter where you were drafted. You're all earning what you're earning. Right. And so that's what winds up dictating where you're at. And so that's why I was always impressed with Brady, playing at a top level, making sure that, like I said, outside of the top 10, like, dude, I had guys like Ryan. Ryan Tannehill was the number 1 paid quarterback 1 year for the Titans.
Crazy.
That's fucked. But they made a playoff with him. Situationally, they're handicapped. Decided, like, dude, the Ravens. I think the Ravens are the only team to cut a quarterback after they won a Super Bowl with him. Trent Dilfer, right? They said, yeah, we won a Super Bowl, but if we want to continue this, there's our upgrade. And then they went through a quarterback carousel until they found Joe Flacco. And when they found Joe Flacco, their defensive team, their running team, they make the playoffs. He has a fucking spectacular playoffs. The year you have to sign him. In fact, he specifically didn't sign at the beginning of the year. What do? Make the same mistake again? Call him Trent Dilfer number 2? No, you fucking pay the guy $100 million, never won again. Like, you're situationally handicapped into making that move, but it does dictate a lot, right? And so, like, I don't know, I tie that in all the time, because if Caleb plays the way he's playing, or if he reaches a ceiling, or if he reaches some kind of consistency, fine. But then when it comes time to pay him, does he get paid accordingly to that? Or do you have to pay him like he's fucking Peyton Manning?
Right.
Because in that case, I don't want him, right? Like, I don't know, man. And I think that's where the Vikings kind of find themselves with Sam Darnold, like you mentioned. Like, they'd rather have a rookie quarterback. I don't know, man. Finding a good balance is important. I think, although you like you stated, you might be overpaying Jordan Love. I don't think it's a lot. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think you guys handicapped yourselves like most teams did. Like I said, I think it's a very favorable contract as far as the guaranteed money and things like that. But, man, yeah, the most accomplished quarterback in this division is definitely Jared Goff. Right? I don't know if
experience.
When you ask me who the best is, though, I don't know who the best is.
Well,
I guess any given Sunday right now, right?
Yeah, totally. We're going to find out.
And we're just happy to be there, dude. Like, we're happy because it used to be one of those 3 guys and not us. Like, that used to be the answer.
Now you're there. You're there.
Yeah. You said the Bears, like you I stated, you named one of your content clips, are the Bears a good team? I think the right way to put it is, I don't think they're a bad team anymore. I think we've finally crawled out of that. What's ahead of us, I think it's still yet to be determined, though, man. But, yeah, dude, I don't know. We're coming up to an hour here. We can kind of start wrapping this thing up.
I got to run. I got the other podcast that I'm on. So,
yeah, dude, let everybody know where you're going to be at.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it and appreciate the conversation a lot, actually. So, find me everywhere, RevTrev NFL, TikTok, Facebook, X, and YouTube. I'd appreciate I have tons of Bears fans that follow me because they just want to. The haters are followers, right? So,
dude, I do.
Yeah, so. And I don't mind it. I don't mind it because I give it to Bears fans good. But I try to do passionate, realistic, honest takes. So thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, go do your content, man. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining me. Have a great night. Go Bears. Yeah. Hope we beat you. So we'll see. Yeah. I want to touch back with you, man. Have a great night. Happy Thanksgiving. And to everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining us tonight. Like I said, late night episode of Bearsky Film, but hopefully you enjoy that a little bit. Dude, I like to get the opinions of fans for other teams in our division, as long as you keep the conversation sensible and whatnot. Some people are just fucking haters and trolls, and we deal with a lot of you guys in the chat all the time. So, but even with chat, like I saw some Eagles fans in here tonight. Like, I'll post your stuff. I'll put it up there. Even if I disagree with it, like this guy, if the Eagles are up, dude, go slide down a fucking light pole because you got to put Chris Cole. And seriously, the only city that has to butter their light poles. No, you guys are a fucking real team, though, for sure. I hope we beat you. It would mean the world for the Bears moving forward, momentum-wise, to get this win. But goddamn, is it going to be a tough one. It's going to be the real test. I'm looking forward to it. Guys, thank you so much. Have a good night, everybody, and bear down.
Ready, set.
Good protection. Lines it up for DJ Moore to the end zone. Touchdown! Take the shotgun snap. Late pressure fire.